Here's an update on some previous topics we've talked about on Plain English. Hi there, everyone. I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English, where we help you upgrade your English with current events and trending topics. JR is the producer, and he has uploaded the full lesson to plainenglish.com/565. Today, we'll take a look back at a few topics we've covered in the past: TikTok, Colombia's hippos, Chile's constitution, a few TV shows, and a fifth patient that has been cured of HIV. In the second half of the lesson, I'll show you how to use the English expression with a straight face, and we have a song of the week. Let's get going. Hey, there's this new app that all the cool kids are using. Have you heard of it? It's called TikTok. You might remember it from Plain English lesson number 204 on November 4th, 2019. Let it never be said that Plain English is behind the times with social media. Well, now the app has over 1 billion monthly active users. The short form video approach has caught on with consumers. The secret sauce is the app's ability to quickly understand what you like based on your behavior and then serve you more of what you like. It's the ultimate in social media laziness. You don't even have to say what you like. The app just knows based on how many seconds of which videos you watch. The app's Chinese-owned parent, ByteDance, is coming under fire in America over consumer data privacy. China's government has passed laws and regulations that give it access to data collected by private firms. So American legislators are concerned that the data collected by TikTok will be shared with China's government. There are also concerns that TikTok's algorithm can be tweaked to manipulate public opinion. TikTok says that it does not share data with any government or outside entity. American lawmakers are considering a few options. One is to require ByteDance to sell TikTok to a non-Chinese company. If that doesn't happen, lawmakers are threatening to ban the app entirely for American users. China is protesting with a straight face that America's threats to ban TikTok are an abuse of state power. They have half a point, but TikTok, it's worth noting, is not available in China, and neither are Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and others. What's the best way to conduct a layoff? In lesson 547, you heard about how companies are doing it. McDonald's is taking a new approach. The Chicago-based company decided to close its headquarters for 3 days, asking all employees to work from home. The company then gave the news via video calls to all affected employees. That approach meant that everyone was at home when they got the news, and there wasn't any of the awkwardness of in-person layoffs. In lesson 371, you heard Chile was drafting a new constitution, and in lesson 504, you heard that voters rejected it. The country is trying again, and the process is complicated. An expert committee will create a preliminary draft of a new constitution this spring. Then, an elected council will make a final draft using the preliminary draft as a starting point. The final vote should be at the end of 2023. Why two drafts? You'll remember that the elected chamber last time struggled to find consensus, and it created a document that heavily appealed to only one part of the electorate. That wasn't enough to achieve the supermajority needed to approve the draft, so the draft failed. This time, the first draft will be created by an appointed council of academics, former officials, and advisors to political parties with roughly equal representation of the left and right. A fifth person has been cured of HIV. In lesson 137, you heard about the second patient reported to be cured of HIV. It happened by accident. The patient received a bone marrow transplant, stopped taking antiretroviral drugs, and later had no detectable viral load. Since that time, 3 more patients have had the same outcome after similar surgeries. Bone marrow transplants are far more dangerous than existing antiretroviral treatments, so this is not a treatment for anyone that doesn't otherwise need a transplant. Still, every success can provide researchers with more information that may eventually lead to a safer, permanent treatment for HIV. The fifth patient was from Dusseldorf, Germany. We are saying goodbye to 2 great shows. You heard about Better Call Saul in lesson 277, and then I repeatedly used it as an example in the expressions section of multiple other lessons. That's how much I loved it. The season finale came in August. I finally watched it, and it was amazing. This is my favorite show on TV. It's a prequel to the Netflix hit Breaking Bad, but it also has some flash forwards that tell you what happened to the character after the events of Breaking Bad. There are some good cameos in the finale. If you liked Breaking Bad, you must see Better Call Saul, and now the whole series from start to finish is on Netflix if you're outside the US. We also talked about Succession on HBO Max. That was lesson 463. The final season is out now. I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait. In lesson 123, I expressed hope for drone package delivery. Not a whole lot of progress there. Amazon's tests have not been as successful as they wanted, so we're going to have to wait a little longer to get our Amazon packages delivered by drone. In lesson 208, we talked about ghost restaurants. Those are restaurants that have no physical presence. They're just an online store on the apps. Well, some companies spammed the online platforms with multiple restaurants with the same menu, causing Uber Eats to delete thousands of ghost restaurants from its platform. Legitimate ones are allowed to stay. In lesson 37, you heard about the Japanese baseball player Shohei Ohtani, who pitches and hits, an unusual thing in baseball. Ohtani struck out his pro teammate Mike Trout to win the World Baseball Classic tournament for Japan in March. So congratulations to Japan. And finally today, Colombia has a hippo problem. Pablo Escobar, the notorious drug lord, imported 4 African hippopotamuses to Colombia for his private zoo. And as you heard in lesson 243, they escaped and started disrupting the local ecosystem and bothering residents of the Antioquia department. There are now 130 hippos roaming around. It's difficult to control the population since they have no natural predators and they reproduce faster than authorities can sterilize them. Colombia has a new idea. The country is going to capture 70 of the animals and ship them to other countries. Don't get me wrong, the other countries want them. 10 are going to a sanctuary in Mexico and 60 are going to India. The plan is to lure them into special crates and then fly the crates to Mexico and India. They're going on a plane. The whole operation to capture them and ship them will cost $3.5 million. When I first heard that number, $3.5 million, I thought, that's it? I received a paper check in the mail in the United States, and the cheapest option with tracking to send that paper check from my mailbox in Texas to Mexico, which borders Texas, the cheapest option was $50. And Colombia is sending 70 hippopotamuses to Mexico and India for only $3.5 million. That's $50,000 per hippo or $33 per kilogram. I think that's pretty good, all things considered. Today's expression is with a straight face. This is not very common, but it's a good one to know. A straight face means you don't show the expected reaction to something on your face. Typically, we use this when someone appears serious, when you would otherwise think they were joking, lying, or making an outrageous statement. Imagine you're planning a surprise party for your friend. It's tomorrow afternoon, and your friend asks you today, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And you say, "Oh, I got called into work all day." I hope you say that with a straight face. You don't want to show any reaction You don't want to smile. You don't want to give away the secret. That's a straight face. Now, you'll sometimes use with a straight face to describe someone who says something outrageous, but they appear to be serious. They don't give any indication that they're saying something outrageous. They act as if this crazy statement were totally normal. In this case, we're not literally talking about their face, but we're saying they made this statement without acknowledging how absurd or unrealistic it is. Adam Neumann was the eccentric CEO of WeWork. We talked about that in lesson 203. When he was CEO, Neumann routinely said he wanted to live forever and he wanted to be the world's first trillionaire, a person with a net worth of $1 trillion. He said this with a straight face. You might expect a person saying this. I want to live forever. I want to have $1 trillion. You might think that person might crack a smile and admit that it's a joke or give some indication that it's far-fetched. But Adam Neumann said it with a straight face. Either he was serious or he was good at acting. He got an absurd payout when he quit WeWork, so he has plenty of money, but it's a long way from $1 trillion. Elon Musk wants humans to live on Mars. He says that with a straight face. I didn't see his face when he verbalized this, but from all his writing and action, there is no indication that he believes he's joking or that he's not quite serious in any way. And for that reason, we can say that Elon Musk said he wants to colonize Mars, and he said it with a straight face. American lawmakers are a little obsessed with TikTok. Many state and local governments have banned TikTok from government-owned devices. This means that city and state employees can't have TikTok on the phones that the government owns. Well, now the U.S. Congress is holding hearings and considering various actions against ByteDance, the Beijing-based owner of TikTok. One option is to require ByteDance to sell TikTok to another company. One option is to ban TikTok entirely in the US. India has already done that. China has responded by saying such a move would be an abuse of state power, and they said this with a straight face. Why do I say that China said this with a straight face? Listen, China bans whatever it wants, and they don't hold public hearings before doing so. TikTok is based in Beijing, and even that is not available in China. Google is banned. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest is banned in China. So maybe what the US Congress is considering is an abuse of state power. I don't know. However, it is an outrageous statement for China to call this an abuse of state power when they invented the practice. So here's another example where I'm not talking about anyone's actual face. I'm just saying they made the statement without any apparent sense of irony, without appearing to recognize the absurdity of the statement. Today's song of the week is Hands of Time by Groove Armada. JR picked a sad one today. It's about someone trying to get over a lost love. Hearing your name, I've never felt quite the same is one of the lines. Hands of Time by Groove Armada is the song of the week today. And that's all for today's Plain English. Congratulations on making it to the end. I always like revisiting these old topics. I see articles and posts, and I think of all of you, and I want to share the latest with you, so I save them for these lessons. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're new to Plain English, this is a good overview of the kinds of things we talk about every Monday and Thursday. Another way you can feel connected to Plain English is on Instagram. We've refreshed our account with new content, and we've got some great ideas for the future too. Check us out at Plain English Pod on Instagram. Like the content you like, tag us in your stories. We'll repost you and share your success with the Plain English world. Find us on Instagram at Plain English Pod. We'll be back with brand new topics next week.